Hello students, hello world. This is question 7. Now we are starting with our first math word problem. And it's very important to annotate. So remember, Dr. K says with the way we annotate is really important. And at Flax, we have a amazing way that we annotate. Let me see. First of all, we just read the problem and try to make sense of it. Let's do that. A rope was 5 and 2/3 feet long. Okay, so a rope was a certain length. Okay, Diego cut off 1 and 5/8 feet of the rope. Oh, I see. So the rope was a certain length. Diego cut a little bit of it. Okay, how long is the rope now? Oh, I see. We had a rope, we cut, well, Diego cut a bit of it. How long is the rope now? Write your answer as an m over n, which means a fraction. Could be a simple, in its simplest form, could be a proper fraction or an improper fraction. In the simplest form, where m and n are integers in the space below. Okay, so remember Dr. K says that we annotate, so we basically circle all the numbers, right? And we're not just mindlessly circling, we are circling the numbers, we are underlining keywords and sentences, cut, feet, and then we box the statement of the question. We box, because I want to make sure that we know what is being asked of us. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and write the equation. The rope was 5 and 2/3. Diego cut out 1 and 5/8 of the rope. How long is the rope now? So the rope was cut, so we know this is some sort of a subtraction. We start with 5 and 2/3, and we are subtracting from it 1 and 5/8. And when we do this equation, when we evaluate this expression, we come up with the length now, the length of the rope now. So this is the length of the rope now. Now, Dr. K always says, always try to change mixed numbers into improper fractions. And remember how we do that? We multiply the denominator by the whole number, and then we add the numerator. So let's do that. Let's see what we get here. Okay, 3 times 5, 15. 15 plus 2, so that is 17, right? Over 3. Do you agree with me that that's 17 over 3? Okay, minus, what is 8 times 1 is 8. 8 plus 5, that is 13 over 8. Up to this point. Are we okay? Now you might say, Dr. K, why are we doing this? I can just put this in the calculator and get the answer right away. That is true. And if you do that, you want to say from calculator to show that you did it on the calculator. But it's also important to learn how to do it by hand. So now, we need to do the subtraction. We notice that the denominators are not the same. The denominators are not the same. And we notice that the least common multiple, which is also known as, in this application, least common denominator, this is really the product of 3 and 8, because there's nothing shared. There are no common factors, no common prime factors between 3 and 8. So basically the LCM or the LCD is really just 24, which is the product of 3 and 8. So we ask ourselves, okay, how do we get to 24? We multiply this one times 8. We multiply that one times 8. So we multiply the first improper fraction by 8 over 8 by 1, basically, equivalently 8 over 8. And we want to get to a denominator of 24. We do the same here. We multiply by 3. We multiply by 3. Now, let's continue evaluating. What is 17 times 8? We have to calculate what is 17 times 8. Of course, by the time you're doing this, you're telling me, that kid, this is so much work, and the calculator is so much easier. Well, yeah, I agree with you, but you still have to learn how to do it. So this is, did you say 136 over 24? That is correct. Minus 39 over 24. Okay, and let's keep going. What is 136 minus 39? Did you get 97 over 24? Okay, 97 over 24. Now this here is as simple as possible. There is nothing that we can do to simplify this. The units are feet. We put a box around the final answer, and we can say, you know what, Dr. K, that is correct. That is what is being asked of us. But we can also write this as a mixed number. I'll leave that up to you. We can write it as a mixed number. I will also leave it to you to write it as a decimal. And it's really, really important. And there is a common sense. You see, it was 5 something. The rope was 5 something, and we cut 1 and some change out of it. So we expect something like 3 or 4 out of the final answer for the length of the rope. But in this case, they want it as m over n in the simplest form, and that is as simple as possible. There's nothing more that we can do to simplify this. Okay, my job is to make you a math genius. This is an interesting question, not too difficult, not too many steps, but this is really important. This is a beautiful math word problem questions. It's a simple subtraction questions. It just happens to be to involve mixed numbers. My job is to make you a math genius. This is Dr. K, and I am proud of you.